scab for the bosses. Don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on?
Overrun by Colts.
Which
First
side are you on?
Phoebe, I love starting the recording like
I
a
think
mid-sentence.
that's how we should just do it now. Because I'm always saying some fucking weird shit.
I love it. Yeah, the first sentence on that was just overrun by Colts.
Overrun by Colts.
It's beautiful. So we're remarks. That's the podcast. It never isn't funny.
Oh my god. This is a podcast. In case you didn't know.
In case you didn't know, it's a podcast. This is my amazing co-host Phoebe. That's the voice you're hearing. That isn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks stunning, per usual.
Thank you. Glad I could pull it together. At least somewhat.
Yeah.
This is my handsome, talented, intelligent, fucking sick ass. I almost called you my coworker. Kind of.
In a way,
for
yeah.
the 2 cents that we get paid. Co-host, Taylor.
True. We're colleagues in a sense.
We are colleagues.
And,
colleagues.
Yeah, this is episode 3 of Cult Month.
Oh yeah, right. Yes,
not
it is.
Being recorded the exact same day that we recorded the last
Absolutely
one.
not. It is actually October 18th. Today is October 18th, and that is the truth.
And we would never lie to you ever.
We would never do another double recording because I'm out of town.
Phoebe would never be in a different state
No.
while I posted the podcast.
I would
from
not.
The safety of my home. The safety of my home? From the comfort of my home? I don't know. As if like other states are like unsafe. You know,
I don't know. New Mexico's kind of fucking sketchy.
Fucking. Don't get me started on Rhode Island.
Oh my god.
I'm out to get you.
I mean.
But yeah, I'm gonna start us off today with another cult.
Yes. Let me interject quickly because
Absolutely.
I have a thing. I was just doing some Googling to find some photos for our last episode. I was doing that a week ago in our bit that we're doing. And I discovered that Mikel Gillette of the Airborne Toxic event, his parents actually joined Synanon, and then him and his little brother like went to the fucking hatchery thing and went to like the Synanon school and grew up as part of Synanon, and it obviously was like very fucking horrible for him, and then he like got out of it and now is a rock star.
That's insane. Is that the singer of?
Yes.
The singer guy.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I will. I guess like link that in the thing. You can't really link things on Instagram posts, but I don't know. I'll throw it up there. We'll put it on the Twitter. You can link things on Twitter.
I'll definitely post about it on the Twitter for sure.
Word.
On the Twitters.
The twits. Word.
But yeah, no, interesting update.
Take it away, Taylor.
Thank you. I'm talking about the Earth. We're talking about if it's spherical or if it is in fact not.
Jury's out, honestly.
So yeah, I'm talking about flat Earth. That's what we're talking about.
I'm so fucking excited.
One thing that's interesting is that you'll find that flat earthing hasn't it's not gone. There's definitely still a good amount of people who are talking about flat Earth, but it's nowhere near at the capacity that it was in like 2016-ish.
Yeah, it definitely had like a big takeoff. Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to tell you, a fucking flat Earth thing followed us on Instagram.
Oh no.
Yeah. You talk. Let me find them really quick.
This is gonna be a good episode.
They're gonna
for
love
them.
it.
Yeah. we'll shout them out. Everybody.
Yeah.
Go open your eyes, honestly, to the truth.
The truth is out there.
Anyway, so obviously, flat Earth has been around for quite some time, and to give credit where credit's due, older cultures didn't quite have, the science to prove that the Earth was round, or did they? Maybe we'll answer that. But you may end up being surprised by some of the things I have to say. Our culture, on the other hand, is just fucking dumb. Like, there's really no reason. There's really no reason to believe in this, but people do. Early Egyptians and Mesopotamia believed that the Earth was a disk floating on the ocean, and we're talking like real early Egyptians, real early. I mean, Mesopotamia kind of implies that it's very, very early incarnations of society. The Israelites also thought similarly, thinking that the sky was a solid dome separating the earth from the heavens, which again kind of makes sense, in the Bible, in a lot of texts around that time, they talk about the heavens as being like a physical place above us.
Right, yeah.
So it only makes sense that they would think like, oh, it's above us. Like literally you go up far enough, you hit
and there
God.
it is. You hit God with a bus.
Exactly. If you miss God, you've gone too far. Greece as well had its fair share of flat Earth beliefs. Homer and Hesiod both wrote about the Earth being flat, so it was kind of like a poetic tradition at that time. And that kind of makes sense as well, like with the idea that the heavens are right above. That's kind of like was used as a lot of like poetic imagery at the time. Even still is to this day, of course, but. So, again, they were taking that kind of stuff like really literally, which, again, makes sense. They didn't really have any other way to go about it. But, so Greece did have its kind of fair share of like early flat earth beliefs. But Plato and Aristotle, as well as Pythagorean, Pythagoras, I believe.
The man of the theorem.
Were among the first to write about a spherical Earth. Many Greek philosophers that came before them did believe that the Earth was a disk, like a flat disk, I believe the timeline Pythagoras was about the 6th century BC, was the first time that he had claimed that the Earth was spherical. And Aristotle, doing different kinds of scientific methods, proved that the Earth was in fact a sphere, was not flat.
A sphere, kids.
So we're talking 6th century BC, before Christ. Very early on.
Yeah. So we've been knowing.
We've kind of been new.
That the Earth is a sphere.
This was proved by Aristotle. That doesn't, of course, mean that like instantly everybody believed that. Of course, ancient Norse and Germanic peoples as well, ancient Norse and Germanic people as well as East Asian cultures all held their own beliefs about the Earth being flat. Again, this is more ancient even than like Pythagoras. Contrary to popular belief, the early church was actually quite divided on the shape of the Earth. In 175 CE, so Common Era, Athenagoras, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong.
I mean, all the Athenagoras heads are going to come after you.
Big Athenagoras guy. He was actually claiming, so this was 175 CE, he was claiming that the Earth was spherical. So it was round, was a ball, floating in the middle of everywhere. And, and this is somewhat of a little bit of a separate debate. I'm sure there was a lot of people in the church who still kind of believed that like the Earth was the center of the universe and things like that. Yeah. But as far as like flat Earth goes, people were, even as early as, again, 175 CE, 6th century BC in Greece, were kind of figuring out, hey, we're on a fucking ball. Like,
right.
It's not a disc, let me tell you. Throughout the Middle Ages, there was, of course, some discourse about the Earth being round versus flat, but still it was widely assumed that the Earth was round, with only a few exceptions thinking that it was flat. And I feel like, kind of going through it here, we're kind of seeing this like baby thread that's kind of like held on to, like, because again, there have always been like fringe thinkers that are like, well, maybe the Earth is actually flat, like this and this. So it's like this baby thread that's just kind of like hanging on in these periods. The Middle East also believed that the Earth was flat for some period of time. The Quran actually has a passage stating that the Earth was spread out which many took to believe that the Earth was like a flat surface that was spread out. Although beginning in the 10th century and onwards, Muslim traditionalists kind of began to accept that the Earth was spherical in shape until it became like kind of widely accepted among pretty much everybody. Because, again, there's science that proves the Earth is, in fact, spherical.
It is a sphere.
It's not, you don't have to have crazy machinery to prove this. You can literally go to like a large body of water, and if you are standing up and you see something that's like on the horizon of the water, and then you kneel down, you won't see that thing anymore.
Right,
which means that it's curving.
Exactly, yeah.
So it wasn't rocket science by any means.
Which, I just feel like if the Earth was truly flat, like, why wouldn't the edge of the Earth be like a tourist destination or whatever? Right? Like, wouldn't it be like, hey, yeah, go look off the edge of the Earth?
Well, Phoebe, that's obviously because NASA is hiding the edge of the Earth from us because they don't want us to know that it's flat.
No, you're right.
Yeah. See, did you think about that?
I didn't. And now that you've said it, I do actually believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah, I knew I'd convince you. Yeah, and we'll get into some of that a little bit later.
Awesome.
But, so this is where it gets a little interesting, and again, kind of a plot twist.
Ooh.
So as I've just kind of laid out, the majority of philosophers and even religious people of the Middle Ages did in fact believe the Earth was spherical.
Right.
Which was kind of news to me because I was duped just like everybody else that like in the Middle Ages everybody fucking thought the Earth was flat. Like they were just like these
that's what I had thought as well.
Big dummies walking around being like, we live on a disc or whatever. Like I kind of like had like thought that.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I had been like told.
Exactly. But it wasn't until around the 19th century, so I believe like the 1800s, an American writer by the name of Washington Irving began to spread the belief that the Middle Ages did not believe in a round Earth. And Christopher Columbus had to overcome much adversity by churchmen to get the approval for his voyage. So that was kind of a myth that people in the Middle Ages and in that time period believed that the Earth was flat.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Very much pretty common held consensus from, again, kind of the research here that most people, the majority of like people and kind of aside from these fringe figures, did believe that the Earth was a ball.
A ball.
Yeah, so kind of interesting, I thought.
That is interesting.
With the
crew. I just
please.
wonder why did he do that? Like, why was he like, I'm going to lie for fun?
I don't know. I feel like it could have potentially been like maybe a mistake on his part. It actually didn't say in the research I was doing. The only thing I can really think of is maybe he was reading more of like the flat Earth accounts.
Sure, yeah.
And I know like other popular art like authors kind of picked up on the idea after he did it that like
right.
They thought the Earth was flat at this time, and then, you know, there were still fringe authors that were like kind of talking about like what if the Earth is flat kind of things that were going on. But yeah, it wasn't like this widespread belief that the Earth was flat.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite interesting.
That is quite interesting.
And again, that's just for the shape of the Earth, whether it or not it was like the center of the universe. That's like another discussion. I think it was, I don't know, fucking Galileo. Yeah, that got into some beef with the Catholic Church.
Galileo?
Our fucking guy, dude.
He was like, no, that Earth is actually revolving around the sun. And then the Catholic Church was like, we will beat you up.
You want to say that again, motherfucker? Like,
say that to my fucking face, Galileo.
I'd like to think of like a bunch of priests just like sweating Galileo,
oh
being
my
like,
God.
"Oh, I heard you thought the sun is the center of our solar system. Could get you into some trouble."
Why don't you meet us in the alleyway and tell us your beliefs?
Yeah. So different conversation there, but with the creation and the spreading of this myth, many groups and individuals continued to push this kind of propaganda. the dying belief had kind of almost been revitalized by this weird, like, again, this kind of myth that was just, like, propagated around that, like, everybody in the Middle Ages thought that the Earth was flat. And that kind of leads us to the Flat Earth Society, which was created in 1956.
Whoa, that's way older than I thought.
Yeah. It was created in 1956 in Dover, UK, United Kingdom, because, of course, the British would think of something like that.
Fucking British.
Fucking British, dude.
They love societies.
They do. They really do.
We live in a society.
The British want to live in a bunch of societies. Yeah. If you're British and you listen to this,
fuck you. I'm joking.
Not fuck you. I know there's some decent British folks out there.
No,
but,
there's plenty. I know at least a few.
Exactly. But your country does kind of suck.
No, it's true. But so does ours.
So ours sucks almost worse in some ways. So
if you're American, fuck you.
Fuck you too. Yeah.
Fuck me. I don't.
Fuck all of us, honestly.
This is going off the rails.
We're a little sleepy. But it's all right. It's all right.
Bunch of sleepy heads up in here.
Sleepy boys going on here. So yeah, it was created by Samuel Shenton, and Shenton's primary goal was to reach children before they were convinced of spherical Earth.
Oh God.
It was kind of his idea, which of course being like, the education system is lying to your kids, telling them that the Earth is round because of this basic science that people have literally known for like 2,000 years.
Oh my God.
Anyway. In 1972, Shenton's role was taken by Charles K. Johnson, and he incorporated another kind of organization. It was the International Flat Earth Research Society. I don't know if that one was British or not.
What kind of research are you doing?
I don't know. They actually still have a website.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But with incorporating that, they actually got the membership at that time up to about 3,000 members.
Fuck.
Which, again, kind of like, I mean, it's a lot of people, but, like, it's not too many people, you know?
No, I mean, but it's more people thinking the Earth is flat than I want there to be.
Yeah, like, it's, and, you know, it's really interesting because at this point in it didn't go too much into, like, any of the weird kind of culty spin-offs of it, but it's, I guess at this point it's a little bit more, like, I don't want to say innocent, but it's less like harmful at this point. It's just like a bunch of kind of whack jobs being like, what if the Earth was flat? Like
bunch of fucking nerds.
Dorks. The society began to weaken in the 90s following a fire at its headquarters, and Johnson, the guy that kind of took it over, dying in 2001. And then it was revitalized into the website for the Flat Earth Society was revitalized in 2004 by a different user or believer, if you will. So it actually also exists as well. I'm going to take a quick ad break.
Yes.
And then we're going to get into some of the things that I do best, which is browsing random internet forums looking for some bullshit.
You are great at that.
So again, someone's got to do it, and it might as well.
Somebody get Taylor a full-time job, reading fucking weird shit on the internet, please.
Please, for the love of God.
Because it brings me a lot of joy. Taylor often finds. I know we need to take a break. Taylor often finds this wacky stuff and like sends it to our group chat, and is like, "Look at this fucking shit, you guys," and I'm always like, "What?
What the fuck?" Yeah, it's always like, I don't even know how I like discover some of it, but I think it's just like you got to know where to look is a big thing too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I don't know.
Truth.
But anyway,
Ads. I thought I was going to hiccup again.
Do you want me to start that over, or do you want
No,
to
we can keep that in.
All right.
Keeping that dead air of me not
I love it.
hiccuping.
I love it.
So, the Flat Earth account that started following us, don't, like, go bully them or anything. Don't say anything at all to them, but it's just kind of funny to me. Conscious Conspiracies, and their bio says, "What do you know about how to think? How do you think you know what you know?" And then it's just like flat earth, like, memes, kind of. Like, they have this one of, you know, the kid who's like concentrating and he has like the vein popping out of his head.
Yeah.
And it says, when you hear your conspiracy theorist friends talk about the quote unquote globalists, but you're too scared to tell them the earth is flat because you've already lost too many friends.
Jeez.
And then one of the other ones that I just think is really funny is they have that Drake meme where he's like pushing away, like, no, and it's like a globe, and then like a picture of like like the Earth being a sphere, and then it's like another picture of the Earth being a sphere, and he's like, no, and then the last one where he's like, yes, is like this weird picture of like the Earth is a clock or something. I don't fucking know, you guys. I hope that this person is okay.
It's kind of weird for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, we have a little flat Earth following, so
I love it.
Enjoy this episode, Conscious. This goes out to you, Conscious Conspiracies.
Just for you. Well, so jumping into it here, I didn't do too much browsing around the Flat Earth forums, but on one of them, which was actually like the International Flat Earth Research Society forums, I did pick or kind of go over this one post, which was titled "Why Flat Earth is the Most Important Truth."
Okay.
I'm just going to read a little excerpt from it here. So many people say, flat or round, what does it matter? To begin with, read why they lie to us about the flat Earth. Then consider the following. When the spinning ball Earth is finally exposed worldwide for the 500-year deception it was, Earth's entire population will suddenly be faced with the reality that every government, every space agency, university, secret society, religious organization, mainstream and alternative media outlet have all been duplicitous, I think, in propping up the monstrous manipulation to fleece and control the masses. The resulting mass mental exodus away from the control system is exactly what humanity needs. Once the flat earth truth gets out, these lying politicians, spokesmen, reporters, and teachers suddenly change from being heralded voices of authority to being ridiculed, shunned, and denounced as they deserve. Once the flat earth truth gets out, these governments, universities, media outlets, and other entangled organizations, which have long been hard at work weaving this multi-generational ball earth myth, suddenly and completely lose all credibility. And it goes on from there.
Baby.
Also, this guy like really loves to like make comma lists of things, you know, like
good, yeah.
Government, multimedia, organizations, like
teachers.
Yeah, he did a lot of those.
Which it's like, yeah, the government is lying to you. It's just not about the shape of the earth.
There's no reason for them to lie to you about the shape of the earth.
They have a lot of incentive to lie about a lot of other things, though.
Mm-hmm. True. So now, similar to QAnon and other fringe anti-Semitic based conspiracies, flat earthism, which is what I've titled it,
I love
has spread rapidly through the internet and hit its peak around 2016 to 2017. Although there are still some folks out there pushing its agenda, it very much has been used as almost like a gateway drug, if you will, into larger conspiracies and cults like QAnon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into a little bit more of what the flat earthers believe specifically about the earth and why it's, I mean, obviously they believe it's flat, but
big reveal, big shock.
Big shock.
They actually
kind of believe the earth's flat.
Kind of be believing that the earth.
Kind of crazy. Ooh, whoops. So there was a YouTube channel, just as for like context, I guess, that like this isn't as crazy as like you might think it is. Beyond the Imaginary Curve was a YouTube channel I found that's most recent upload was 1 week ago.
Oh, fuck.
doing flat Earth stuff. Many flat earthers believe that governments and specifically NASA are hiding the existence of the flat Earth to trick the population. Flat earthers believe predominantly, that the Earth is a disk and that Antarctica is an ice wall that surrounds the Earth. I have a picture of it here to show you, and we will for sure post it on all the socials. But this is kind of the conceptualization of what they think the Earth looks like.
It's kind of pretty.
Yeah. Do you want to describe it just for the audience?
Yeah. So it's like, it for sure looks like a pancake, and then it's got like icicles coming off all around it, and then the sun is kind of just like floating above it. Moon's off to the side. Does it have a dome? Is that a dome or just like a lens flare?
Is a dome.
Dome. It's domed up on a Saturday night. And it's just kind of like chilling in space.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that the moon is not a fucking disc, but just the Earth is. Yeah. Kind of cute though. Kind of cute. Kind of quirky.
Kind of quirky, yeah.
I like flat Earth.
It's kind of cool. So they believe that like the North Pole is in the center of the disc. Like there's a, like if this was like the center, the North Pole is kind of just this like ice wall in the center, and then Antarctica is this like big ice wall around the sides of the Earth.
Huh. Okay. Truly fascinating.
They also don't believe in gravity because obviously if the if the Earth is flat, then you don't need gravity to like keep things, if they were like quote unquote upside down to the
sure,
attached to the Earth, I guess.
I get it.
They do believe in a thing called universal acceleration, and it's that the Earth and everything else in space is moving upwards like pretty fast. Like it's like accelerating upwards.
Okay.
And that's what like keeps I don't honestly know. Like there's a bunch of videos on YouTube explaining why that matters, but I couldn't tell you at this point. It kind of just went in one ear and out the other to me.
Do they have an explanation for how does day and night work? And also how can it possibly be like nighttime here but like daytime in Australia?
I think it's because like that so with the dome and like the disc, they think that like again, the Earth is like the center of the universe, so the sun will go around like this, and that's like why I guess if the sun is moving around like the moon, then it would be nighttime when the sun's behind it. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I'm not
also,
a pseudoscientist.
They're not.
Yeah, so I mean, again, they have kind of they're bad answers for these questions, but they do have answers. From 1959 to 1961, 12 countries signed a treaty ensuring that Antarctica would be protected and no military activities would be held there. So it's the Antarctica Treaty of 1961, which is good. It was like an environmental protection treaty. But of course, do you want to take a guess what they think the treaty was all about?
Oh my god. They think it's because fucking the government doesn't want you to know that Antarctica is actually an ice wall around the world.
Exactly.
And not just a continent.
And these 12 countries are like they're like, we're going to like keep it from our populations or whatever. So, another YouTuber called My Perspective, uploaded his last video 2 months ago on Flat Earth. So again, more YouTubers that are still pushing these things. It's not hasn't really gone away. It just
yeah. Well, and apparently we've got Instagram accounts that may or may not be satirical.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I guess I haven't like said this. I run like a joke conspiracy theory account on Instagram called conspiracy_boys. BOIS. So you can follow it if you want. But I just make like satirical fucking jokey ass posts about like what the government doesn't want you to know.
It's very funny.
And I actually do have quite a few Flat Earth followers on that account.
Sounds about right.
So it's definitely a thing. ABC News did like this report at a flat Earth convention, and honestly, I kind of feel like ABC News was just like, they did this thing where they like went in and asked all these questions of the people, but they didn't really like present them with evidence. They were kind of just like, why do you think the Earth is flat? And then they just recorded it because, you know, we get to laugh at these wacky people who think the Earth is flat. They weren't like trying to actually like, you know, get any like correct information out.
Yeah.
But obviously, so they interviewed a bunch of people. You know, some people talked about how like the moon landing was fake and like the government's been lying to you about us even ever having gone into space.
Right. Yeah.
It plays heavily into religion, believing that one guy was talking about how like the Bible doesn't say anything about the Earth being spherical. There's nothing in the Bible that says that. It's like,
okay.
Probably the Bible doesn't say anything about like, I don't know, other planets or stars either. Like
the Bible didn't say that the mountains were pointical.
Exactly. So
the Bible doesn't say a lot of fucking shit.
The Bible kind of doesn't know what it's talking about. So yeah, obviously best source to go off of is the Holy Bible.
Oh, absolutely.
Going into kind of the last part here, YouTube was a huge reason for kind of everybody that like got into this weird flat Earth craze.
Yeah, fucking YouTube.
Around that time. And, you know, a lot of it too is like a lot of people believed in other conspiracy theories prior to kind of becoming like these flat earthers. Because again, as we've kind of talked about, you know, when you believe like, oh, the government is bad and like, oh, maybe they did 9/11, for instance, or maybe they faked the moon landing, and you know, you kind of get on board with all these conspiracies. It's really easy to kind of then jump to the next thing of like, well, maybe they're lying about the Earth being round,
right?
Maybe there's a secret cabal that's eating children, you know, like it's a bunch of it's just again like kind of that common progression. And that's why I think that it was so kind of just like fluid for all these flat Earth people, that obviously it probably still exists, to just kind of like transfer over to QAnon.
Yep.
Because it's like, again, it's just another thing that you're just stacking on your big tier system of what you believe in.
Yeah. And
with any kind of like conspiracy that does this kind of like global elite, Illuminati,
cabal type beat.
Cabal things, like, you know, even with like NASA's, you know, hiding the existence of the flat Earth from you, like, you know, it's a lot of those ones are really not that far of a step back from like their anti-Semitic roots.
No, exactly. Which is why it's like, yeah, like laughing at flat earthers is funny or whatever, but then it's like, exactly like you're saying, it's like it bleeds into all this other shit that it's like, well, no, actually now a lot of flat earthers are very fucking anti-Semitic, and it's funny, but it's not, because they start to get fucked up in all these other beliefs too that are not good. Like,
exactly.
I think that to a point, believing that the Earth is flat is not that harmful, I guess. Yeah. But then it's like you have this wavering belief in stuff that's kind of crazy, and then you latch on all this other shit that is very harmful. Well,
it's like what I was talking about with my section last week, or the one that you would have listened to a week ago on Christian identity, where it's like, you know, it kind of just morphs into this big like culture of like, well, we don't trust the government. We think that the Democrats are putting liberal propaganda in our schools and blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, before you know it, you've gone through all these steps and you're fucking in some neo-Nazi online group, you know?
Yep.
And it's bad.
Bad. Very bad.
And that's not to mention all the people who have literally lost contact with family members because family member joins Q.
Yes.
And they're like, you're part of the fucking, the normies, the sheeple. Like,
it's true. Again, classic cult thing.
Telling anybody who tries to correct you or show you any kind of like differing belief is part of the conspiracy that against you.
Exactly.
And it's a cult. It just uses a different means of like control at this point because the internet
Right.
has brought so many people together.
The internet, like, is cool, but it's really created, like, a fucking cults on steroids. Like, it's really just put the ability to make a cult in, like, a whole new fucking realm here.
Yeah, it's like, did we make a mistake with the internet?
Scientists stopped to think if they could, and they never stopped to think if they should.
The fucking, is that Jeff Goldblum?
Yep,
Our boy.
our boy.
There's a bar, I'm not gonna mention it, I guess I can, in Salt Lake Urban Lounge.
Yeah.
In the men's bathroom, there's like a picture of Jeff Goldblum, like when he's laid out in Jurassic Park, but then he has like this like sunset behind him. It's truly touching.
It's
actually,
like sexy pic of Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum is so sexy.
I can't describe how sexy Jeff
No,
Goldblum
it's
is.
unhinged. And I feel like it just gets like more.
He gets better with age. It's weird.
Like a fine wine.
Exactly.
Ugh.
It's wild.
Yeah. I saw him on Conan O'Brien one time and he was like talking about I'm so sorry. He was like talking about Conan O'Brien's like freckled hands and he was like, it reminds me of this poem called All Things Dappled. And he like went off telling this fucking poem and I was like 12 and I was like, I'm in love with this man.
Yeah. You can't help but like be like I don't know, in awe when he talks.
It was a sexual awakening for me.
Do you know he has like a jazz
Yes.
thing too? Like he sings jazz.
God, what doesn't he fucking
Again,
do?
like being serenaded by Jeff Goldblum singing jazz to you while you're like sprawled across his piano.
Oh my God, naked.
Naked, of course. Maybe like with like a shawl over you.
Yes. Ooh,
Yeah. We've gone off the rails. It's wild. We can take another quick break, and then we'll let Phoebe take over with her cult.
Wahoo.
You know what is also as great as Jeff Goldblum singing you jazz?
Is it the product and service? The one product and service that we have?
The one product and service. Anyway, ads.
Ads. We're back. And actually, Taylor has now given his job over to Moonshine. And so Moonshine is now my co-host. Moonshine, how's it going? Wonderful.
Yeah,
That joke inspired by she was sitting in Taylor's little chair and it was so cute.
It's very cute. Yeah, Moonshine, I mean, really she's out there doing like the frontline journalism that like the world needs.
Moonshine's
so it would be
our little gumshoe.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like irresponsible of us to not give her a platform.
It's true. It's true. She has a lot to say.
Exactly.
We'll post that cute little picture on the Instagram for sure because oh my God. I gotta post some tonks too. I don't think I've ever posted tonks.
You need to post tonks.
I'll do it. I'll get on
Podcast
it.
pets.
Podcast pets. Hashtag podcast pets. Well, you guys, I am here today. What's happening? I'm here today to talk to you about this fun, wacky little cult called Love Has Won. This cult has everything. Reincarnation, aliens, neo-hippie practices, Donald Trump,
Wow.
anti-Semitism, and mummies.
Wow. That's like, were you intentionally doing like that Saturday Night Live bit from
Stefan.
Stefan. He's like, this club has everything.
This cult has everything. Reincarnation, aliens.
Beautiful. Niche joke.
Yeah. So we're in for quite a treat here. Love Has Won was founded by Amy Carlson around 2006, and at that time it was still being called the Galactic Federation of Light, which sounds really nice and normal.
Yeah, it's definitely, that sounds like, well, first off, some Scientology shit.
It definitely does.
And also, I mean, this, because the person who made Scientology was a fucking a science fiction writer. It sounds like some science fiction shit. So.
Oh my god, he was. That's right.
Yeah,
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard, yeah.
I might talk about Scientology. I'm trying to decide if that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask you about that later, so we'll talk more.
That shit is so
off the mic.
Off the air. That shit is so fucking whack. Anyway, so Galactic Federation of Light. Amy found the Galactic Federation of Light and was immediately drawn to it due to its new agey beliefs in spiritual healing and aliens, which were somehow stirred in there. Again, very Scientology.
Yeah.
Some sources said that Amy actually founded this group, but then other sources said that she just ended up taking over as leader very quickly. Not sure what the truth is. The research with this was kind of weird because it's still kind of going on in a sense. And it also happened like really recently, and so like a lot of stuff is like still kind of coming out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, either way, whether she like founded it or took it over, it's like she's kind of the spearhead of it.
Exactly. So as Amy's devotion to the Galactic Federation of Light grew and she moved into the leader's seat, she began cutting off ties with her former life, of course. She left her job as a manager at McDonald's, she left her husband, and she left her 3 children, who are all from different fathers, who are all ex-husbands of Amy's. And eventually she cut off all contact with any family members.
Damn.
Yeah. That
seems, normal and also good.
Very, very. Amy, so she renamed the cult to be called Love Has Won. And she started calling herself Mother God, and her worshippers she called her children. She would appoint different men as her husband and called them Father God. On the Love Has Won website, which has since been taken down, and you just get a 404 forbidden fucking thing, Amy introduces herself by saying...
I'm ready. I'm so ready to hear it.
Hello, loves. I am Mother God. For quite some time, you had been praying that I come back to help you. Because of that, I decided I had enough of the dark forces kidnapping my planet and my children. So here I am in the flesh. I was born on November 30th in 1975 in Kansas, USA. This is my 534th reincarnation in my quest to recover my beloved planet, the center of the universe, and the first planet I created. They tried to assassinate me 589 times this lifetime, but love has won. I love you. I've done my part, and now you have to get a move on. I know. And now you have to get a move on because you wasted eons thinking you had a life under the manipulation of the cabal, who used you like cattle. Get a move on, because this planet is ascending, and you need to reconnect with prime source creator me, so that you can ignite your light bodies and can protect you again. You are either with me or against me. Yikes. The experiment of free will has been declared a failure! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. It is void. Everything exists under divine will once more. Thank God, LOL. Get a move on, Mother God.
Okay, I got a couple of notes here.
Yeah, lay it on me.
So first of all, I just want to know, like, what would you already have had to have read or like been part of to read that and be like, that makes absolute perfect sense to me. Like, I 100% understand what she's saying, and I'm sold. She's Mother God. Like, yeah. That the first thing. Second thing, I was just thinking, imagine you're like a small Midwestern town, I don't know, like 22-year-old,
sure,
and you're like, you're going to college, you have like a job at McDonald's, and somebody starts telling you about this fucking cult that they're in, and you're like, that was my old fucking manager, Amy. She sucked, first of all. She was insane, and I used to work with her.
Oh my God. Yeah, I want to hear stories from the former employees that worked under Amy at McDonald's. Please come forward and talk to us.
Please, for the love of God.
We will interview you on the fucking podcast. We will fucking get you a corporate coffee refresher. We will fucking kiss you on the cheek if you want.
Exactly. You'll get the full Remarks experience.
Absolutely.
If you come on the pod.
It's a pet moonshine.
That right there. is a pretty big incentive.
That's the best one of them all. I'm just gonna flip you this little picture of her.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like
looks
on
about
her little...
what I would expect.
Exactly. She's got like, I mean, she's like makeup-less. She's got like long, kind of stringy hair, crystal-y necklaces. She's got her hands in the little fucking prayer position thing, her eyes closed.
Yeah, just very granola. Like, honestly, wouldn't be too out of place at like a, I don't know, like a
doTERRA convention.
Maybe like a music festival.
Definitely,
like,
yeah. Burning Man type beat. All right, so from this little introduction thing, we've got a lot to unpack. So she mentions the 534 reincarnations and attempted assassinations on her. Amy Carlson claimed that she had been reincarnated 534 times and lived the lives of a fun cast of characters such as, are you ready?
Ready.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh, out of the gate, big hitter.
Cleopatra.
Oh.
Joan of Arc. And Marilyn Monroe.
Okay. Weird, weird combo. Like, I don't know. There's not many lists that have, like, Jesus Christ and Marilyn Monroe. I mean, I guess, like, the list of people who are no longer alive. But, like...
Exactly. Yeah. She also says that in a past life, Donald Trump was her father and that she had been his daughter. Which does not make the most sense because Donald Trump only has one daughter who is actually still alive, which is Ivanka.
Unless, I guess she's inferring that Donald Trump in his past life maybe had her as a... But yeah, she doesn't say who Donald Trump was in a past life, right?
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, which it's like, not like any of this shit makes sense, but like, come on, baby. Put a little effort into making your reincarnation stories.
We got a lot of people telling us that they're the reincarnation of Jesus. You got to put in the legwork if you want to get my allegiance.
No, exactly. So Amy said that people outside of the cult were living in a state of 3D consciousness and that members of Love Has Won had transcended and they were on 5D consciousness. These different levels of D can be reached by participating in the cult, which will help you get to a higher vibrational level. And this whole fucking, oh my god, it's like so insane, but it's like they believe there's some kind of like vibration thing, and then it gets you to the different D levels, and that gets you at a better consciousness or something. I don't know. At the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about this other cult that exists that's definitely a branch off of this or something like that, that someone I used to work with is a part of, and it is... a lot.
Yeah, definitely, because I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Definitely a lot of similarities in just like the language.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. So, Love Has Won believes that the world was being run by a cabal, classic cabal shit, that kept the planet at a low vibrational state and therefore kept everyone at 3D consciousness. Okay. What's Slow Moonshine doing over there?
I think she's scratching a box.
She's going crazy. So, this is where she mentions the, quote, "You wasted eons thinking you had a life under manipulation of the cabal." So this is where you start to see some of that, like, Q shit peppered in. Which, when Amy found QAnon, she realized how perfectly all of their ideas fit right alongside her own, like a fun salsa or dip.
Superb writing there, Phoebe.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because the cabal shit, the like, and especially because like just bridging the gap between that weird like new age spiritualism and the Q people. I mean, you're gonna get so many people on board with that.
Exactly, especially when you sprinkle Donald Trump in there in any way, shape, or form. Like this other cult that I'll ramble about at the end, like believes that Donald Trump is like an alien that was sent here to like save the world or fucking something. I don't know, it's bananas.
Absolutely.
So, Amy told her followers that QAnon described a divine plan and that the plans of QAnon combined with her own would help her lead 144,000 people. Yeah, 144,000 people into the fifth dimension.
Word.
Amy, yeah, totally. Absolutely. Amy also said that Robin Williams was part of her spiritual communication team.
Oh.
And that he was the Archangel Zadkiel. Sure.
I mean, I've said that about Robin Williams for years.
I've been saying. So not only is Donald Trump her father from another life, she's also Jesus Christ. She can also communicate with Robin Williams, who is an archangel.
Nice.
And I just looked up who Archangel Zadkiel was. He is the Archangel of Freedom, Benevolence, and Mercy.
Oh.
Okay.
Word.
So, along with the Cabal bit, Love Has Won also adopted the belief in lizard people.
Classic.
And that the people within this Cabal are actually lizard people. Which is what Q people believe.
Yeah.
Like a lot of fucking people.
The lizard people thing is like really... I mean, that's like, it's deep it's for sure like a deep one in there, but yeah it's definitely a thing.
Yeah. The reptilian conspiracy theories are ultimately an anti-Semitic belief, as well as Cabal conspiracies are often very anti-Semitic, like you were saying earlier.
Exactly.
Which this brings us into another piece of the anti-Semitism behind Love Has Won, which is the belief that Amy Carlson was the queen of the lost continent of Lemuria. It was hypothesized by zoologist Philip Sclater that Lemuria was a land bridge that broke off and sunk into the Indian Ocean. It was proposed as an explanation for why there was lemur fossils in Madagascar and India, but not in Africa or in the Middle East. Okay. And then this biologist Ernst Haeckel, in 1970, he said that Lemuria was like the birthplace of mankind. And this fucking made this shit go wild, and all of these like conspiracy people and like new wavy people totally grabbed onto it.
That's so weird. Yeah,
just it's really weird.
It's crazy, just like the weird fringy things that like will just get like sucked into these. It can like because it sounds like, I mean, again, I don't know necessarily the intent behind these, like the zoologist that was looking into it. It sounds like he was just like posing a question of like, this is weird.
No, for sure. The fucking what was his name? Philip Sclater for sure was just like, oh, I wonder why there's lemur fossils in Madagascar. And also maybe it was and in India, maybe it was this land bridge. I don't know. But then and
they're like, the cults suck it up, and they're like, this is where humanity started. Like it's weird.
And then Lemuria took on a whole new identity when the founder of Theosophy, Helena Blavatsky, claimed that Lemuria was the birthplace of human ancestors, and they were called Lemurians. Which, Taylor,
yes,
I will just have you take a look at the crest of Theosophy.
I would love to
really
see
quickly.
It. Do you want me to describe it to our audience?
Yeah, you totally can. Let me just get your initial reaction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got in the very center. It looks, I don't really know what religion. It looks like a Cleopatra like cross type looking thing.
Yeah, the Ankh. It's like an Egyptian Ankh.
Yeah. So there's an Ankh there, a Star of David that is surrounding that. There's a snake that's like eating its own tail surrounding that. But
like Ouroboros or whatever the fuck that thing's called.
Then at the top of that, like where the snake and his tail are coming together, there's a swastika. Which, oof. Big oof there. And then there's an Om above that. And then underneath it says, there is no religion higher than truth. It's something. Yeah. So there's a lot going on there. Personally, it's the swastika for me. It's definitely the swastika for me too. It almost looks like a weird interpretation of those like coexist signs that are on like bumper stickers.
Does. Yeah, which it's also just weird because I'm like, the swastika right above the Star of David is really not sitting right with me.
It's really given, and like I know like the swastika was taken by Nazis and it didn't always mean that, but like it's you should get a new symbol, my dude. Like
maybe
it's
just
not
don't
good.
do that. Yeah, so definitely some whack anti-Semitic things going on there, and we will for sure post a picture of that on the Instagram.
Absolutely.
Amy was very active on YouTube, as a lot of cult leaders are these days. She would post these long, rambling videos that garnered her an online following as well as her in-person following. Mm-hmm. Her IRL followers were around 12 to 20 members, and the number fluctuated due to people joining or leaving. And these followers lived with Amy, or Mother God, or just Mom. Aw.
Cute.
On a commune in Crestone, Colorado. They started doing daily YouTube live streams, which fucking is something that everyone that branched off of this shit does. And it's so insane.
Live streams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the cult I talked about at the end, she fucking has a constant fucking live streams on her Instagram. It's insane.
Well, and that's what's so weird. Some of the YouTube channels I was looking at for Flat Earth, it's like these like 3-hour long live streams that they're just like sitting there talking about the earth being flat and responding to fucking questions, and it's like, dude, like what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, like what? You have a lot of time on your hands, baby.
Yeah.
So they were doing these live streams. This is where Amy would share her beliefs. She would ask for donations. She would encourage new members to join, and she would sell her vitamins. Which were actually just colloidal silver. Fucking,
I don't know what that is.
This cult loves colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is it's like a liquid, and I think you can use it as like an antibacterial thing, or I don't fucking know. In hindsight, should have looked it up, but here we are. Yeah, but they love that shit. They sold a couple other things as well. So on their old website, they had some little like fucking pyramids, different like elixirs, a lot of which just had fucking colloidal silver in them. You know, crystals, fucking all right. Like nutrition shit.
Okay, yeah, very, yeah. So like, I mean, pretty, because you could probably see that shit on like, like Goop, like Gwyneth Paltrow's fucking weird new age website.
Oh,
it's
Gwyneth.
it's like Goop stuff.
yeah, it's absolutely Goop shit, but on a culty level, which is Goop a cult?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Jury's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also sold something called etheric surgery. This cost $88 per session and claimed that it could remove sickness and negative energy from the body.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which this was something that Amy would do remotely. Mm. So it was like an energy reading or whatever the fuck, something kind of like that, basically. I'm seeing some bad
avenues that this could take.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't want to see a doctor. I want to go to Mother God to get my energy read.
No, exactly. Which the doctor thing will come up later, and it is kind of crazy. So Love Has Won had many of your typical harmful cult practices. Mother God would control your sex life, your sleeping patterns. Classic. Only allowing members to sleep for 4 to 5 hours per night. She, of course, told members that they were to transfer all of their finances over to her. And she issued members new names. The renaming of cult members is a very, very common cult tactic that you'll see in a lot of cults. Heaven's Gate did it. Charles Manson did it.
Yeah.
We all remember Squeaky Frome from the Manson family.
Yeah.
And Amy Carlson did it, renaming members things like Hope and Aurora.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I guess those are just the names that I would expect.
No, that's
to
exactly,
be renamed in a cult like this. Like, and Aurora, isn't that just a city in Colorado? Is there like another place they named for Aurora? Is
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, Aurora
her name.
Borealis is the fucking Northern Lights. I don't think I've said that right, but
no, I think that's how you say it.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Well, look at me go.
Also, bucket list, cuties trip. I want to go fucking see the Aurora Borealis.
I too want
to
go do that.
So bad.
listen to our podcast so you can fund our Northern Lights trip.
Yeah, our Northern Lights trip, our Cuba trip, and our Chernobyl trip. And we'll include you somehow in some special way.
I mean, we'll do a live
stream the entire fucking trip.
The entire trip, and we'll live stream from Chernobyl. So
yes. Well, yeah, we absolutely will.
That would be actually really cool.
Okay, so we are doing great. The cult had a strict no drugs or alcohol policy, which a lot of them tend to.
Yeah.
But Amy and one of the father gods did not adhere to this. There are several, of course, they have special whatever. There's several instances of Amy getting belligerently drunk and verbally and physically assaulting her followers. In one of the YouTube videos from the cult's final years, Amy is seen drunk and yelling, "I'm fucking God, you fucking horse."
Woo! I mean...
Which is like, I know that it's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
I mean, yeah, I really do have compassion for people that are in cults, but
yeah,
I guess just like when someone's making an absolute mockery of themselves,
yeah,
it's humorous in that sense,
exactly.
Not in the abuse.
Yeah. Jason Castillo joined Love Has Won in 2018, and he becomes the new father god. In a phone conversation with Insider, Castillo said his existence could be traced back 477.5 trillion years, that humans come from Venus, and that he has 3 hearts.
Oh. How does he verify any of that? Because he said it can be traced back.
Traced, yes.
By whom? By whomst?
By whomst, exactly. Probably himself.
Yeah, I'm sure he's the verifiable source for all this.
Yes.
Also, I mean, I get they were just doing an interview or whatever, but like, I'd be like, nah, fucking prove that you have 3 hearts. Let's do an X-ray right fucking now. I'll show you have 1 goddamn heart. Like,
show me 3 hearts, Jason. Jason also described he said that the being Father God was the master of darkness.
He's the master of darkness because he's Father
that,
God?
That being Father God makes you the master of darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know what he means by that.
Me either. No idea.
I don't know what any of this means, so.
Where am I? Jason was extremely abusive towards the members, and he can be seen in a video threatening a member and saying, "You're going to be a paraplegic."
Oof.
Yeah. Castillo would regularly use methamphetamine. Apparently he was also exempt from this anti-drug stance. And shockingly enough, he has started his own branch off from Love Has Won, which is a cult called Joy Reigns, which resides in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not surprised that the offshoot of Love Has Won would be Joy Reigns.
I mean, it just makes sense.
It's just all the like weird, vague, like vaguely positive, but like not quite like quote unquote religious sounding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they're on that line of like it could be a weird spiritualistic cult, or it could be like a fucking youth group name or something.
Right,
like.
Exactly. Maybe it's a spiritual cult. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Exactly.
2 of the other members of Love Has Won, who I mentioned, Hope and Aurora, they have started their own cult called 5D Full Disclosure. In a quote from Insider, Aurora and Hope said they were on a mission to awaken the world. Quote, "What's going on the planet is the exact opposite of what they tell us," says Aurora. "For us, of course, our message is revolved around Mom and the fact that she was here," says Hope.
I mean, okay. I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, but I mean, and it's wild. I guess it's wild how much like coverage they seem to have gotten, like interviews and stuff, because they sound fucking nuts. Like,
yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Yeah. 5D Full Disclosure also sells some fucking crazy shit. On their website, 5dfulldisclosure.org, don't buy their shit, please. It is so insanely overpriced. I can't stress it enough. So they sell 13D plasma generator pyramids. Do you want to take a gander how much these sell for? Hold on.
All right,
I
plasma
will let you take a
pyramids.
look at what this looks like. That's
All
the
right,
plasma
all right.
pyramid.
Okay, it kind of looks like a terrarium, but it doesn't seem like it has any plants in it.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's made of like resin.
Okay. Oof. So I guess if I'm thinking what like that would maybe normally go for.
A plasma generating pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm always in the market for a plasma generating
is it?
pyramid. I would say my guess would be, if I'm being kind of realistic about it normally, would probably be like $50 to maybe like $60.
Oh, Taylor.
But how much is theirs?
It is $444.44.
No.
Yes. And all of their prices have these same numbers or whatever, like fucking angel number ass shit.
Oh my god.
But there is free shipping, so.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they're really showing the love. They're really
Absolutely.
love has in fact won.
They also kept on the whole colloidal silver ass shit. And they say, visit our selection of magical colloidal elixirs created in the heart with pure intent to connect you to unity consciousness. The God head equals mother. Your vibration will raise up and step up into your divinity. I can't, it's like I'm having a hard time reading it because it makes no
fucking nonsense
fucking
words.
sense.
Like, it means nothing.
Exactly.
And again, I just wonder, like, what do you already have had to have bought into to like read something like that and be like, absolutely,
I want that.
100%. I've been really struggling with my vibration and just being on the same spiritual plane as like my higher consciousness, and I just really need a fucking resin pyramid.
I just feel like I'm not vibrating high enough.
Exactly.
So they sell, for instance, a plasma titanium elixir for $111.11. Plasma copper elixir for $44.44. A plasma gold and silver elixir package for the incredible price of $66.66.
That doesn't sound much like an angel number. That's a 666.
X-Files theme plays.
Yeah. Sorry, my voice is hoarse.
No, I love it. So the whole colloidal silver thing was huge in Love Has Won, and Mother God was fucking absolutely railing colloidal silver. Not really, but she was taking that shit nearly constantly. She also said that colloidal silver would cure cancer, and it would also cure COVID.
Ooh, that's big hitter there.
Absolutely. So into, I guess, some of the like abuses of the cult.
Yeah.
So in May of 2020, a member of the cult who had been abandoned due to, quote, lacking the right energy and, quote, being on the wrong side of the mountain. I don't know what that fucking means. He was found wandering in the wilderness. He was naked, dehydrated, sleep-deprived, and confused. He had cactus needles stuck in his feet from walking around with no shoes. And this was not the only member who had been kicked out and abandoned in the wilderness.
Oh, that's so awful. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that's, what the fuck? Like,
I know.
I don't know. It just seems so unnecessary. Like, just kick people out, and why do you gotta, put them in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah,
I guess.
why do they have to be fucking fighting for their life?
Yeah, can't you just like kick them out and let them leave? Like, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm no cult leader.
There is also a video showing Amy with a crying child locked in a closet.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Real fucking winner there.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that there's child abuse going on.
Not at all.
Because that's usually how these things go. But it's always, it's always the cherry on top is like, oh, they abuse their members and also their members' kids. So
Yeah. She also sexually abused many of her members. she said that, like, she got, like, a... She said, that her, whatever sex person that she was using, whatever person she was using for sex, she would say that this person is ordained to be my partner. And then she would assault them and then say, oh, you were temporarily ordained and now I have to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Terrible. And again, unfortunately, another common cult thing is that the leader gets to decide who sleeps with who, and they can sleep with anybody. So
exactly.
Very common.
Jason Castillo was also seen using his power to assault members of the cult sexually. Yeah. Horrible, horrible, horrible people.
Garbage.
Yeah. Love Has Won moved around quite a bit. They started in Colorado and then relocated to Oregon, California, and Florida. They spent a brief amount of time in Kauai, Hawaii, but they were kicked out because Amy was claiming that she was the Hawaiian goddess Pele.
Yeah.
And Native Hawaiians did not fuck with this at all. Appropriately so.
Appropriately so, yeah. You got it. I mean, if you're going to be claiming to be different gods and shit, like, you got to... Again, I mean, good on the fucking Native Hawaiian people. Absolutely. Because, yeah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, don't do that. So they started a protest that spanned several days, and this group of locals lit driftwood fires around where, like, the group was staying, and chanted Hawaiian prayers. And the mayor of Kauai actually had to step in and ask Love Has Won to leave the island. They briefly relocated to Maui, but they were quickly convinced to leave and flew back to their starting point in Colorado.
Yeah, no, good for fucking Hawaii.
Yeah.
They were like, nope, not today. We're not doing this shit.
Absolutely not.
Fuck you.
They briefly were in Mount Shasta, California, living in like a trailer park there. They were kind of chased out of there as well, but they moved to Mount Shasta because they believed that the Lemurians lived inside of Mount Shasta.
Oh.
Sure.
So Mount Shasta's hollow?
I mean, I guess, maybe.
I mean, yeah. I would assume if they lived inside of it.
Hollow Mount Shasta-ers.
Exactly.
Get right along with the flat earthers.
I'm losing my mind right now, actually. There's so much.
I know.
So many whack things this cult's doing.
Yeah. Well, get ready because it is about to get weirder.
Woo!
On April 28th, 2021, Officer Stephen Hansen received a report of a dead body in a trailer in Moffett, Colorado. Oh, right. Because after they fucking went to Mount Shasta, they went back to Colorado.
Nice.
He issued a search warrant and he entered the premises. What he saw inside will shock you. He sees a few members of the Love Has Won cult and the mummified remains of a woman. She was inside of a sleeping bag that was wrapped in a string of Christmas lights, and glitter was smeared around her eye sockets. Her eyes were missing.
Bro.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm shocked.
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, what did they do with what did they do with it?
Right. So this mummified sleeping bag, Christmas light wrapped, glitter eye socketed mummy corpse was set up in a little shrine, and this was in fact Amy.
Oh.
Yes. Amy Carlson had died. Now, it hasn't been like found out exactly what caused her death, mostly because she was not sent to a doctor.
Yeah.
At all. And so the last time she was seen was about in like mid-February. It had been like 2 months before she died. That was the last time she was seen. So nobody really knows like exactly when she was last seen or when she died.
Yeah, but sometimes between February and April.
She had lost like copious amounts of weight, which she was already like a pretty like thin lady, so her losing more weight was not good news. She could not walk. She was like paralyzed from her legs down, or from her waist down. She was being carried everywhere, and she was claiming that she had stage 5 cancer, which is not a real thing. It only goes from 1 to 4. So
okay, yeah. I mean, it sounds like she didn't have cancer, and I mean, I guess we wouldn't really know because she didn't go to a fucking doctor.
Exactly. So. Of course, she was a raging alcoholic, so she was drinking copious amounts of alcohol, and she was continuously taking these colloidal silver capsules. Mm-hmm. I have a fun photo for you of Amy in her final days.
Oof.
I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm prepared.
Let me just turn up my phone brightness so you can really get the full...
Take it all in. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's terrifying,
I know.
actually. She's looking rough. She was looking rough there.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, she had actually been taking so much colloidal silver that she turned blue, like a bluish gray. You can see, like, on her face, she's gray in color.
Honestly, I thought that she was wearing some kind of mask,
No, that is her actual face.
That's actually more terrifying.
Horrifying.
Now. Oh my god.
Horrifying. Yeah, she looks like an alien. Her skin is gray. She is real thin. It's not good for Amy.
Oof. And I can only imagine that the mummified version of that didn't look better and probably was
worse.
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I tried to find pictures, I couldn't, but
and I'm
which is maybe a good thing.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm glad. Yeah. So at this point when she really started like fucking dying basically, Hope and Aurora had really kind of taken over for her, and they were kind of calling the shots. You know, nobody knows if she had gone to a doctor, she would have lived.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hope and Aurora said, quote, "There's been moments that Mom has asked us to take her to a 3D hospital, and we're like, nope."
We're like, no can do, because your silver capsules will cure everything.
Yeah, take more colloidal silver and turn more blue.
And I mean, it makes sense if Hope and Aurora, I don't know how much they believe in what they're saying, but I mean, if they wanted to take over the cult, of course you're not going to take the leader to the hospital when they're like sick, you know.
Exactly.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, she was very fucking sick. She was like, she couldn't walk, she couldn't breathe very well, her eyes were rolling in the back of her head, she was blue, obviously. And Aurora said that she was joking when she asked to be taken to the hospital, and that she had actually signed documents saying to never take her to a hospital under any circumstances.
And
I somehow doubt that a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we have those documents?
I would like to see it. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, so they mummified her, put some glitter on her eyeballs, wrapped her up in a little sleeping bag and Christmas lights, and continued to worship her body. And then those two, Hope and Aurora, went on to start their own cult, which was, of course, 5D, full disclosure. So that is most of the story of Love Has Won. There's like a YouTube documentary on it. My salon owner said it was all right, but it's interesting because the facts are in there.
Yeah.
But now to talk a little bit about the cult that I mentioned a couple of times that somebody that I used to work with was a part of. It is called Moonbabes and the Light Tribe. That is her Instagram. And it's run by this woman called Sonia, who is fucking very similar to Amy. It's very new agey. It's very like neo-hippie. There was a picture of Amy where she's got like all these like crystal stickers on her face. And this lady is all about fucking crystal stickers on her face. Let me tell you. She will do these like hours long Instagram live streams that I have watched, and literally I'm just like, what
the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
And she makes like these super long, like YouTube video, all of this shit. And her Instagram posts are largely talking about trying to vibrate on a higher fucking thing. They talk about the different D levels and how you need to get to 12D. She does these like retreats that are literally like $14,000 for you to go and attend. And the person that I worked with was super, super into this. She started making her own YouTube videos that were very long and rambling, and she got a new name.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to like say too much about her, but she was like somewhat kind of well known, and then changed her everything over, like all of her branding over to this new name that I'm presuming fucking Light Babes gave her. And it's like, it was just so, I mean, the whole thing's weird, but it's like she had like a whole brand going and then just gave everything up to do this whole thing.
Weird. I mean, and that's so, it makes sense when you're in a cult. They want you to leave everything behind, what we've talked about, but it's just, and it's so weird because like, I always wonder, especially with like these kinds of things that are kind of new agey and like, I don't know, to me, obviously like fake.
Yeah.
If like the people who run them like actually have like bought into it and like believe what they're saying or not.
Right.
It sounds like, I mean, if nothing else, Amy was taking all that silver shit and was at least somewhat believing what she was saying, because I mean it ended up killing her.
Yeah. Most
likely. But I just wonder like some of the other ones, like the Jason guy or Hope and Aurora, if they actually believe it, or if it's kind of a mixture of both and they just want to get money from it, or like what.
Exactly.
So I'm always curious about that.
Yeah. I feel like there has to be a point where it's fucking bullshit. Like you're literally, she's like, oh, I'm Jesus Christ. I was Jesus Christ. Like, and I know there's people do think that, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around.
It is.
And I wonder too, like, because again, if you are Hope or Aurora and you just watched who you, if you believe it, think is God die because they basically killed themselves with this like supplement that turned their face blue.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that, and if you were one of the members too, wouldn't that kind of like spark some concern in you? Like,
right, exactly.
Like, this person looks like a fucking alien, and it's scary. She looks scary.
Yes.
And that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, they said that her death was an ascension.
Yeah.
Which that's like always what, with all this cult shit, like whenever something doesn't go exactly like how they said it was going to, or whatever, they find some way to like twist it into like, oh well, actually
they double down. They always double down.
Exactly.
The same with the Q people when fucking Joe Biden got elected president. They were like, it's still happening, you just gotta trust the plan, or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah, which Love has won, as well as the Moon Babes fucking shit. Very much believe that Donald Trump is like, well, so the Moon Babes and the Light Tribe thing also goes into Starseed people, which they believe that they are aliens that were planted in like their mommy's tummies, but they actually have alien families out in outer space, and they're one of several different kinds of alien races. Donald Trump is a basically alien Jesus Christ who came to Earth in order to like bring us into the 12D. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bonkers. I don't know.
It is bonkers.
And again, it in some ways makes me sad that like people have turned to such insane beliefs because like the current situation is so awful.
Yeah, like the pandemic and the quarantining really like compounded a lot of this shit. And just like made it really take off, which is fucking sad. Like it's not good or healthy at all. But if you want to have a fun afternoon, just check out Moon Babes and the Light Tribe on Instagram. Don't believe anything they say. but it's really interesting to see the gobbledygook that they say.
It's interesting.
It's wacky.
And we've said this before in other ones, but like obviously arguing and with them over the internet is probably not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna change their minds. It's probably just gonna make you upset more than anything.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I'd say again, keep your arguments. Try to keep your arguments off of the internet because it really doesn't help very many people.
Yeah,
so.
Don't engage with fucking Sonia from Moonbabes at all because you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, it's just better not to. If you have friends in your real life who are into some of this weird shit, I would definitely say have a conversation with them. But
absolutely.
That's, because it's more personal. But
right. Yeah. Yeah. And all that being said, colloidal silver is not supposed to be ingested. So don't fucking eat it.
You will turn blue, apparently.
You will turn blue.
Ooh, yeah, that's wild. That was a journey. I'm like...
right?
I'm just blown away. I took so many left turns.
Yeah, genuinely.
Ooh.
Just kept getting more and more twisty.
Well, I guess we'll plug our stuff now.
Yeah.
I do the Twitters, which is at RemarksPod. I have a YouTube channel called The Lefty Agenda. And please leave a review and a comment on Apple Podcasts as well.
Absolutely. I was not just yawning. Go look at our Instagram, which is not Moonbabes and the Light Tribe. It is at Remarks Podcast. We also have a TikTok of the same name. We will post pictures of Amy looking real rough.
Yeah, we'll put a trigger warning because
it's
pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Wasn't expecting to see horror in this episode.
Yeah, we will also post a picture of flat Earth and the Antarctica ice wall.
Yeah, which is less scary, but is still pretty weird.
Very. And, our shout-out game.
Yes, that was your turn to do the shout-out game.
It is my turn. And I fucking had something in my mind, and now Okay. For our shout-out game, I would like you to tell us your favorite place that you've been on to a trip.
Oh. What? No, I like that one.
You know what I'm trying to say. Favorite place you've taken a trip to.
Yeah, favorite vacation. I guess it doesn't have to be a vacation, though.
Yeah.
If you, went somewhere for work or...
Sure, and you were just like, this place is dope.
Yeah, what's your favorite place?
Yeah, as you know, me and Taylor, along with our best friends, just went to San Francisco. We had a fucking amazing-ass time. Yeah, so I liked that place.
I also liked that place. What was your favorite part of the San Fran trip?
Dude,
really
it's
quick?
so hard to say because I literally just am still on a high from it a little bit. But
True.
I feel like honestly, when we were just walking around that really cool park and just shitting and gigging with each other.
Yeah, there was this cool park in the middle of San Francisco that just had all these plants. It was very fun to walk through.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
Yeah.
Also, Alcatraz, though, was so crazy.
Alcatraz was sick. I loved the fucking anarchist bookstore. We went to an anarchist bookstore.
I mean, yeah, let's be real. The highlight was the anarchist bookstore called Bound Together, Anarchist Bookstore Collective. You can find them on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you're in San Fran, check them out and buy some literature.
Yeah. There's a picture of Taylor and I doing hardstyle in front of the anarchist bookstore that we will post someday when we do a face reveal.
True. Maybe we could put emojis over our faces and
True.
post the pic.
Yeah.
Word. Well, yeah. I think that's pretty much everything.
That. Well, thanks for listening.
Okay, love you.
Bye.